Hey everyone, it's Thunder Phoenix UK here, and today I'm doing a different kind of style of video. So I've got some pre-recorded footage from a game that I got a key for called skyoceanswingsforhire. Now this game is very old school JRPG, however with a bit of a twist, because instead of being on the ground fighting, instead you're in the air, and you're in these essentially aircraft called air jets. And yeah, it's quite an interesting idea and concept for a turn-based game. So yeah, let me sort of set the scene. So you play a character called Glenn, who very early on finds out that his family go out and are part of this lovely town called Blossom Town, and they basically, unfortunately, get killed. And we don't find out how. But you basically want to follow in your parents' footsteps and want to become a pilot too. You want to become an adventurer. And essentially, all the people who live in this town, one sec while I select the next part of the video, all the people who live in this town, yeah, they all have different job roles. So you have miners, you have, people who sell fruits, who sell weapons, who sell everything, and basically they're all pilots, and they go out and about and they do their daily jobs, and yeah, you want to become part of basically this town essentially aircraft team. And so yeah, you, as I say, you take on the role of Glenn. He's the main character, and then you have alongside you your friends, who you have Theo, who's currently trailing behind me at the moment. And this is one of the other characters you get to meet who's part of your team. This is Ren. The other team member is another person called Mika. Now, there's 3 difficulty levels to this game as well. You can play weak, normal, or strong. And you can also change the enemy aggressiveness during fights to low, normal, or high. And as I say, this is set in the town of Blossom Town. So this is where we are at the moment. We're currently in Blossom Town. And we're currently just assembling our squad because today is examination day. We're going to take essentially our flight test. We're going to be put through our paces, and we're going to become, as I say, part of this town's essentially flying squad who go out and perform missions and jobs. And yeah, to give you an idea of what the controls are like. So also, when I was walking there, you would have seen I was running. So it uses the left stick to maneuver. You can click the left stick in, and by clicking it in, you can either walk or run. And yeah, as I say, it's a one thing I've got to say is it's a really nice looking game. I've actually really enjoyed playing it so far. And I found that there is obviously a lot of things to do in the town as well. You can go about, you can chat to people, and you can learn like a little bit of things about the town and what people do. So yeah, as I say, currently we're currently assembling our squad. So now we have to go and find Tobar as well. Tobar is another one of the people who are part of this town. Now I haven't had time to explore the entire town yet, but from what I did explore of it, I did find there were actually little crates as well you could open, and by opening these crates you get objects that you can actually use for your aircraft, like repair kits and stuff like that. And I should mention that as well, using the left stick to maneuver and walk or run, you can actually use the right stick to maneuver the camera too, so you can actually change the camera angle as you're walking around the town too, if you want to have a little look around and have a look at some of the stuff that's there. The one thing I will say as well that I was a tad little bit surprised with this game, but I mean it's not essential, I guess, was the fact that there's actually no voice acting. Now, as we know, a lot of RPG games have a lot of voice acting in them, but yeah, this didn't have any voice acting in it, which it was a little bit of a surprise. But again, I guess it's not necessary; it doesn't have to be. But yeah, I think it would have been nice to have had that in there, I think, at least. But yeah, as you can see, that was a bit of Blossom Town. It was a bit of us walking around, exploring the village, getting our team together. Now, I guess the one thing you what people want to see is the combat side of stuff. And yeah, this is us about to set out for our final combat. Now, I apologise that the speed of the chat stuff and everything was going fast at the bottom. I was trying to get myself into combat because I wanted to see how it felt, how it played out. So yeah, we're going to take our final exam in a training grounds where we're going to be taught how to maneuver and basically how to fight in combat too. So yeah, we're going to speak to the two instructors who are Mira and Minerva. And yeah, we're going to go. And yeah, these are our air jets, by the way. So these little aircraft, you can see, they're our air jets. These are what we use in combat. So like I say, rather than the combat being based on the ground and your usual like RPG style being like on the ground sort of combat, this is this was very much it is very much air combat but turn based. And once we get into combat, I'll show you how obviously the combat works in terms of like how people take turns and stuff like that. And you'll see obviously the options come up on screen as well, but show you how to do the relative things like fire your weapons, select abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it so far. It's been a different pace of game, and as you can see, by the way, from the options menu you may have just seen, I did actually select the lowest difficulty level, as well as put the enemy aggressiveness to low, because I just wanted to sort of learn the combat stuff first before I took a dive into it and decided to pick like a more difficult level and stuff. But yeah, so as you can see, we're going to fly off in our pair. We're paired with Theo. Mika and Ren are paired together. And yeah, flying. So flying is very, very smooth. It uses the left stick for you to basically pick your speed. So the more forward you press the left stick, the faster you go. And then you use the right stick to maneuver up and down. And yeah, it feels really smooth. It feels like most, it feels like most flying games. So for a first task, they've asked us to fly through these 10 beacons. So we're going to collect these 10 beacons. And yeah, we also have a threat scanner and a party menu too. So the party menu you'll see shortly, which I use because if you basically collect certain objects like repair kits and stuff like that, you can use them in your party menu to help repair any damage after battles and stuff like that. And the other thing to take note of as well is when you're flying around in the world as well, you'll see like that blue chest that's just there on the left. So in order to open them chests, you actually have to shoot them, which I discovered. And yeah, now we've been asked to find and defeat some albatross. And as you go, that's me shooting that chest, and I got a repair kit basic. And the other thing to note as well is it's R2 to fire, but you may have seen this. So if you shoot an enemy before you get into sort of the combat range, think of it as like a first attack. You can actually open up the ability to attack first. So by shooting them from a distance, you gain an advantage going into battle. So yeah, these are some of the airjet combat basics, teaching you how to obviously use various menu options. And yeah, you have your attack, you have art, you have evade. And yeah, as you can see, it's all turn-based, so it actually shows you on the cards whose turn it is. It also shows you who's going to be attacked as well. So yeah, as you can see, we're after 2 albatrosses, and it actually also shows you in the bottom right, it shows you essentially how the battle is going, like who's winning and stuff like that. So and I'm guessing that moves depending on how well or how badly you're doing in combat. But yeah, this is one of the art moves that Glenn has, which is freezing rounds. As you can see, cause frostbite to the enemy. And Theo has an ability called Quick Draw, which essentially speeds up the amount of times you can attack. And you can select the character which you want to put that onto, and then they can attack. So once you've selected both enemies, as you can see by the way, you then press the square button, and that will essentially that selects your commands then, so you've got them locked in. So once I select attack here, as you can see, I select the enemy, I then select square, and then that proceeds to use them commands that I've selected. And as you can see, it is very much like the traditional turn-based JRPG, as I say, but it is just that difference of just being, as I say, just being a pilot instead, essentially. And yeah, for this first, as I say, for this sort of first test, they've got us after 8 albatrosses they need us to kill. And yeah, I had a little bit of a mess around here because I was trying to work out in the sort of menu options. So you have your inventory, your equipment, your art, your quest, and then your map. The one thing I didn't work out what to do was how I could use the repair kit, because obviously I thought, oh, I need to use the repair kit. I've just been in a battle. But then as I jump into the next battle, I actually learned that because we leveled up during that battle, essentially it then fills your HP anyway. So because we leveled up, I'm basically up to max HP already, so I didn't actually need to use that repair kit. Now, the one thing I don't know, because I haven't got that far in the game yet, is I haven't found out if you can A, upgrade your aircraft, or B, you can buy bigger and better aircraft. Now, I'm going to assume that you probably can. So I'm going to be intrigued to see when I play the game a bit more, to see what sort of style of aircraft you can get, as well as also, obviously, what sort of weapons you can get, what abilities you can get. Because as I say, in your art at the moment, obviously, as I know, Glenn's got the freeze option, and Theo has the option to make people essentially speed up their turns. So I'm wondering, and I'm guessing that later on, you're probably going to get different ones. And as you can see, I leveled up again here. So again, after that, I knew I didn't have to use a repair kit. And as you can see, we've defeated all the albatross in this little area. So we're going to move on. Now, I don't know what you get by collecting all those beacons, by the way. But what I did learn shortly after collecting this next beacon is you can also collect these, which look like cogs. And I am assuming like they're going to be used for some sort of system, maybe, for like upgrading your aircraft. Again, maybe upgrading your weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, as I say, as you can see from here, it's shooting the enemy from a distance. And I slow down here just to make sure I can get a hit. Like I say, it just gives you that like sort of first attack option. So straight away, you can get the advantage. As it says, bottom right, you get the advantage of first attack, being able to get in there and, yeah, lay down a hit marker first. Now, the other thing which I learned, and I didn't know until after I'd actually gone back and looked as well, is when you look at the enemy's card, the enemies have an element next to some of them. So next to the albatrosses, if you can see it, there's a flame. So I'm going to assume that there is also some sort of system where, obviously, fire and ice, lightning and water, and you'll have to take into, obviously, you know, thought that some abilities and some arts that you have may cause more damage than just doing a general normal attack. And as you can see there as well, I actually got an extra bit of hit in. There was a 24 popped up in yellow, which I think means that you do a bit of extra over damage as well, maybe like a critical hit. But yeah, as you can see, another victory in the bag. But again, like I say, I did set this on the lowest difficulty because, like I say, I wanted to learn the combat system, and I wanted to learn the flight controls and stuff, and I wanted to basically, I wanted to just get my head around my, you know, learn what sort of game this was. And that was me, by the way, using the threat scanner. So when you press L2, as you can see, threat scanner came up and it showed me enemies that were in the local vicinity. And there we go. We got another advantage on this attack as well.
This is the plan. Confirmed.
And the one thing I will say is that it's so easy and just, I think it's so smooth in like the ability to give you the hit marker stuff as well, that, you know, it lets you know what the percentages of you going to be able to hit that enemy. So, you know, for certain attacks you could see it was like 82, somewhere it was 84. For this art attack, as you can see, that was 92%. So yeah, different abilities, different attacks have a different percentage of attack. And yeah, that just gives you, yeah, just a little bit of an idea of, you know, maybe which attacks are going to work and which ones may not work so well against certain enemies.
I've got you.
And there we go, another victory, and I do believe that was also the 8th albatross that we needed to kill. And yeah, there we go. So that was our part of the test over. We obviously completed that bit, but yeah, we didn't learn that that wasn't the entirety of the exam over, because now our mentors, now our instructors wanted to test us in combat. And so we're now going to fight Mira, who's in what can only be described as a giant, what I thought looked like Airbus style. And this is where I got a bit like sort of, you know, I wanted to check some of the other arts out. So we can see we're trying out Ren's art, which was a fire one. And Mika had piercing thunder damage rounds as well. So we were like, okay, let's check these things out. Let's see how they work. So incendiary rounds, as you can see, missed. We then landed some attacks with Ren and Theo. And then I tried the shocking rounds, which seemed to electrify, and yeah. Then we got hit with a polar burst, which missed, luckily. And yeah, it seems like at this point there is an option to obviously mix and match your arts that may cause different ability damage and stuff, but I didn't dive into that to find out. Instead I decided the only best way to finish this is to just, well, unleash attack. And we did. And as you can see, we were also victorious. And so yeah, I'm assuming going forward that this will be like your main team. Your main team will be Glenn, Theo, Mika and Ren. Obviously, I'm assuming, again, you're going to meet other characters along the way who are going to change your party, and you can change your party to different characters. You will have different aircraft, different abilities and stuff like that. And yeah, as you can see, we then finished the exam, and we had to head back to town to find out the results, to see how we got on. But I did really enjoy, by the way, that, like I say, going back to talking about like the flying mechanics. The flying mechanics are really smooth, and I didn't get a chance to show you like the world map to show you how big that is and stuff. But it looks like there's a lot of areas to cover, a lot of like areas you can fly to, and I'm assuming there's going to be different missions and stuff. But yeah, the overall feel of the game, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued to try more of it and play more of it. And yeah, I can definitely see me giving this a lot more of a play. But if you enjoyed what you've seen of it so far, let me know. Like I say, I decided to do something a bit different this week and have some pre-recorded content, just so I can essentially show you some of the gameplay, show you the way the game handles and stuff. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you like the look of it? Is this your style of game? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. And yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. But until then, this is Thunder Phoenix UK saying bye for now.